Hey all, it is the 8th week in our garden this year, and I'm excited so far of how things are going. In today's walkthrough video, I want to talk about the 5 things I'm going to be doing this week in the garden. First, I want to start with where we were struggling last week. The seeds that I planted, my warm season crops that I planted that have struggled and struggled and struggled, and I saw the problem with some of the soil last week. They're finally doing a really good job. You can see right over here, they're growing better. Now, will any of these actually get planted in the garden? Probably not. Possibly my tomatoes, possibly the bell peppers. I would like the bell peppers because I don't think we actually have any yet. But they are doing a much better job growing. So the other thing that I was having problems with last week was the oregano. And you can see here how much better they're doing after I repotted them. I talked about that in last week's video, that I would probably do that, and they've done a much better job. So now let's move on to the 5 things that I'm going to be doing this week in the garden. As I talk about the 5 things I'm going to be doing this week, I want to take you out to the garden to talk about those 5 things. Of course, the berries are really doing well, and these elderberries are just growing tremendously. There's a lot of things that's not changed. The green beans have yet to sprout. The loofah haven't really grown a whole lot. But here in the main garden, there's been a lot of change. So I'm doing today's video a little bit different. Instead of taking you by each and every plant and showing you the differences, which I felt sort of got boring after a little bit, I'm just going to hit some highlights of the plants that's really doing a lot of changing, at least at the moment, while I cover these 5 things. So number 1 on my list of things that I'll be doing this week, and I think you should be, is walk through your garden. Spend 5 minutes just walking through your garden. Take a look at things, see how things are going, see if something might look a little dry, you know, and that kind of stuff. Because if you can just, 5 minutes, just a quick pass through, 1, it'll help your stress, because we all know we live in a stressful time. But 2, it just helps you keep an eye on your garden and you can see when things are going on. Some of the highlights we've got though going on right now are the cucumbers are starting to come up. I've got at least 3 that I can see so far. Of our pinto beans, I've got 1 so far that I'm seeing. But now that 1's up, I bet I expect to see others coming shortly. Some of the orange sickles, we can see that I've got peppers, as well as some jalapenos. Again, those are tiny. And you can see on our pea plant here that if I hadn't have been taking my time as I walked through my garden, I might have missed this. That is my very first pea bloom of the season. So the second thing you should be doing is weeding. I know it's early, we've just got things planted, but it's so much easier if you stay on top of it right now. As you're walking through your garden and taking a look at stuff, you'd be shocked at like what you might find. And if you can keep an eye on your garden, in fact, come here. So right over here, you'll see, well, hopefully see, here, come closer. Look right back here. There's just a couple of weeds right back here. I can reach back here, pull those. That took a moment. There's another one right here in the front. It only takes a minute. And if you just pay close attention while you're walking through and don't rush it, you might see, in fact, there's another one. I almost missed it because I was rushing. So if you're watching this when it releases on Wednesday or the next couple of days afterwards, and you're in the Nowata, Oklahoma area, you have an opportunity to come to a small 1-day Homestead Expo at Trinity Church in Nowata, Oklahoma. It's the New Beginnings Expo, and there's going to be all sorts of stuff going on. I know that they've got food preservation, deep mulch, medicinal plants, you know, natural medicines. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. I'll be talking at 10 o'clock on Saturday on solar power. So if you're in the area, we would love for you to come out and see everything that's going to be going on. I'll have a link down below that you can click on to see. Price is only $15 a person, and you can't beat that. The third thing you should be doing is mulching. If you didn't mulch when you moved your transplants into the garden, now's the time to really be thinking about it. As you can see in this video, you can see how the top of the soil just looks so dry. And so with the mulch in place, it will help keep the moisture there. A lot of my stuff, all my tomato plants need to be mulched. All my pepper plants need to be mulched. I haven't done that yet. My garlic is mulched, and they keep their moisture much better than everything else is. So I'm going to be mulching this week. I've got so many dry leaves around. I usually will either use those, or a lot of times I'll shred them and throw those on the garden because I have so much. So that was the third thing that you should be doing. The fourth thing you should be doing is harvesting. At least hopefully you'll be able to be harvesting. The bed next to me here looks so much different than it did last week. Last week it was so overgrown with radishes. Well, we've harvested all of those radishes. So the spinach, what little bit we had, we've harvested our spinach. So hopefully if you've got stuff in the garden, like our onions, we've been harvesting onions for green onions. So if you've got certain things already in your garden, now's the time to start harvesting those items. So the number 5 thing that you should be doing right now is planting. There is still time to plant. It is early May as I record this. In fact, it's May 3rd. You'll be watching this on May 5th if you watch it when it releases. And so it's still time to plant things. That bell pepper plant that I showed you earlier, I'm hoping to still get bell peppers, hopefully maybe even from those seeds. Now, I may grab a couple seeds and plant them. So I'm going to be replanting radishes as well. I have the time to get radishes in if the temperatures cooperate. And I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. If I get them planted and keep them watered, hopefully we'll get more radishes. Besides planting other things like the radishes or like my peppers, that is still iffy on that one, other things you can be still planting is there's still time for flowers. Shoot, there's a lot of time. For me personally, I need to get some marigolds in the ground. Marigolds are great for attracting beneficial insects. They're also really good for deterring certain pests like tomato hornworm. We had one get one of our plants last year. In just a single short period of time, it pretty much stripped every leaf off of that plant. It's also good for cabbage hornworms, so I'll be putting them over there. So I've got several of these that I picked up this weekend that I'm going to be working on getting in the garden. So there's still lots of time to get things into the garden. As you can see though, my tomatoes are doing great. These were my biggest ones. They're still doing good. You can also see on my black cherry tomato that we have a tomato. Now it's teeny, tiny, but we have a tomato. So that's the garden this week. I'm going to be spending a little bit of time here now getting the rest of those marigolds planted. That way, you know, I find that it really does help with the garden having those scattered throughout the garden space. And I'll be working this week on getting that mulch put in place. And as I said already, I'll be using leaves. I'll probably be chopping them up just because they're plentiful. I've got them all around me and I don't have to go out and buy them. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I hope you'll spend at least 5 minutes every day, just walk through your garden space. You don't have to spend a lot of time, and you can follow some of these same steps that I'm going to be doing. I'm spending 5 minutes each day just walking through my garden. I'm weeding, I'm harvesting, I'm mulching, and I'm planting. And I know I got a couple of those out of order, but it doesn't really matter the order. If you're doing those 5 things, your garden's going to, I would expect your garden to be great if you can do those 5 things every single day. Here's our playlist from our garden this year. Here is our video that we just did last week on our main line of our drip irrigation, and here YouTube thinks you'll like this video. Thanks for watching. God bless. We'll See you on the next video. Bye.